Hi, my name is Anishka Ganu, and today I'm going to be analyzing the impact of bioethanol usage. To start off, bioethanol is a renewable biofuel that's made from feedstock, also known as biomass. It's known to be a great alternative to motor fuel used in vehicles today and is a great energy efficient and lower environmentally taxing alternative to motor fuel. As mentioned before, bioethanol comes from feedstock, but more specifically, it comes from corn and soybeans. It's largely produced in Brazil and the USA, so mostly the Americas. And there's three separate processes that occur in producing bioethanol. The first thing is fermentation, which is where yeast is used to digest the sugars from the feedstock, and that in turn creates bioethanol and carbon dioxide. After that, the bioethanol is evaporated to separate it from the solution and then dehydrated to kind of create that pure bioethanol substance. If you look on the graph on the left, you can see that in 2018, almost 86 billion liters of bioethanol was produced, which kind of shows how widely available it really is. But when you compare that to gasoline, which has the same rate per day, it's a lot less relatively available in comparison to petroleum and other conventional fuels that are used currently. If we look at bioethanol impact, it is significantly lower in comparison to petroleum. Almost 50% less greenhouse gases are released from bioethanol in comparison to gasoline, and improvements in technology and production processes has shown an additional 20% decrease in carbon emissions, which kind of putting that together is almost a 70% decrease in terms of greenhouse gas emissions and carbon dioxide emissions in comparison to petroleum. If we look at economic impact, it does decrease foreign dependency on oils and other things that are used because there's more domestic production and more jobs created that allow citizens and other people in the nation to economically benefit from this production. It also increases GDP because now this domestic production is helping give the government more money and the people more money, rather than using imports and other methods that send money away from the nation. There hasn't really been a lot of public communication about bioethanol by the US government to citizens or other people to kind of incentivize that production. But there has been monetary incentives to farmers and production producers to use bioethanol, to produce bioethanol, to decrease, those greenhouse emissions and to have that economic impact that was discussed before. I think collectively using this information, I can really put together that bioethanol is a great alternative to fuel. It's more energy efficient. It has less taxing effects on the environment, and it's producing jobs, which is especially important after COVID. I think its production is, relatively less in comparison to fuel, but it does have the opportunity to grow and to provide the same impact that biofuel that motor fuels have, but in a better sense. If money wasn't a problem, I think the first step that I would take is provide more monetary incentives to farmers and production companies. Even though that's happening now, I think an increase of that will incentivize more people to participate in creating bioethanol and to create other biofuels that are essential in making this transition from motor fuels to more biofuel processes. I think by also communicating to the public the impact and the positive effect that bioethanol could have, there's more pressure on the government to make these changes as soon as possible and to show those results, whether it's economic impact or environmental impact on not only production, but also how it's economically changing jobs and foreign dependency. I think by increasing those production purposes, you also lower the imports that you have and the dependency you have on foreign oil and create this independence within the nation that allows you to have more reliability on domestic production rather than relying on others. And these are my references. Thank you.